obviously, um, it wasn't good enough. What we did, we came out with a loss, but um, by the numbers, I think our defense did phenomenal with a team like that. The triple option is an offense that is very complex to to stop. There's a lot of misdirection, and I believe our defense gave out a lot of selflessness to do their job and um, make things happen. So, stopping the run game, obviously, we gave up a pass that went for a touchdown. That was unfortunate, and we gotta learn to bow up in the goal line, in the red zone. And if we fix those things, I think we can win out the rest of this season.
There's an appearance that David Moala being in the lineup is a big lift to you guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, David Mwala, he's just a really smart player. He knows when to hold blocks for us linebackers. He knows when to take on one on one. He knows how to choose his battles, and when he does, he makes it happen in the backfield. Very grateful for him to, and I'm really excited for him to be back with us.
I know Air Force doesn't throw the ball a lot, but I still find it pretty incredible they haven't given up a sack this season. So how big of a challenge is it going to be going up against their offensive line this week?
Well, I mean, it's no different from what we saw in New Mexico. Just a lot faster, and just a lot smarter. The quarterback knows when to give the dive, when to take it, and when to pitch it. Um, we just obviously we just have to shut down their run game. Just as simple as that. They're averaging 300 yards a game, and we're still trying to find our identity in stopping the run game as good as we want it to be, as at least.
So you're starting to talk a little bit about it. What is there differences between New Mexico's option and Air Force's option? And then, I mean, it just seems to me that Air Force runs more like a machine, or it runs more like I mean, New Mexico, they rely on their speed and
Yeah.
different things like that. And Air Force just has a way of really doing things.
Yeah, New Mexico, playing them, we understood that they love to give the dive as much as they can and try to gash us through the middle, and wait for someone to give up their assignment. Once they miss their assignment, they're going to win that gash. And um, Air Force, they take what they can get from each defense. If the dive isn't there, they're going to work with what they have, and I think that's what makes them who they are with how they're running the ball.
Do you remember, is it by the end of the game when you're playing all that assignment football and trying to hang in your spots and everything, do you remember like the feeling last year after the Air Force game of, were you tired of thinking about that all the game, or does it flow along easier when you kind of know what you're going to see, or what?
It's pretty simple. It's just do your job. As long as you think of it like that, there's nothing more to it. The coaches give you the play, and if you just do what you've been doing all week in practice, because you're gonna regret it. Or I mean, once you miss your assignment, I mean, I've been there before. When you miss your assignment in these kind of options, they really take advantage of you.
Because if you do miss your assignments in options, or don't do your thing, like one guy maybe covering the guy on the pass play the other day, I mean, that's what happens.
Exactly.
These guys, doesn't it?
Exactly, and they've been running this offense for years now, and they know when someone's messed up, and they know exactly when to jump on to that advantage. So.
On a personal level, imagine you're glad to be here at Go State, and why? Why was it? I'm assuming it was a good move for you. Why so?
It was probably the best move for me, just because it gave me the opportunity to play the sport that I love, honestly. And I mean, it goes on more than playing. I love the science behind this game, the strategy, and I was able to learn more and grow in different ways on and off the field. So that's why I feel like this is the best spot for me here at Utah State.
Sounds like you might be coaching in your future.
We'll see.
I think we talked to Torrey last week, and somebody asked him, how was it to be a little bit in the background spotlight of Kyler and Nick at linebacker? What's it like for you in that spot, just a little bit playing with those guys and such?
Well, obviously, it's hard to outshine Nick and Fackrell. They're great players, but I mean, aside from that, it's a great experience. There's nothing like it. Just having a group of guys who love the sport you do, and they're just as good or even better than you, and I feed off of them and their vibe and the things that they do. So it's really good. It's a great experience.
What's just general overall feeling of losing a game like New Mexico is even compared to losing a game like San Diego State? New Mexico's a lot more disappointing or tough to take,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really devastating just because we should have won that game, and it's just I feel like we lost that game because of ourselves, not that they, you know, beat us man for man kind of deal, one-on-one, and we just gave up an assignment, and they found a way to get into the end zone, but you win some, you lose some.
Was that long scoring play something out of the ordinary from what they've been doing this year? They don't throw a lot anyway, but I mean, something different that they hadn't shown?
No, actually, that's just the thing about the option. You want to run it, get the defense into a habit of expecting run, and then you want to, I guess they want to come out like they're going to run it, come out with their speed, and then next thing you know, the quarterback drops back and just passes it. And it's hard for the safeties. My hat goes off to the safeties and the corners on our defense because it's hard to play the run and defend the backfield as well, because we need the safeties in the option game as much as we need them in the passing game. So they really needed to step up, and despite the long touchdown pass, I feel like they did a great job.
Anything else for LT?
Thanks, LT.
Thank you.
Brandon Swindle here momentarily.
Somebody just happened to be over on the side.
He's what like this?
Somebody's over on the outside.
Yeah.
They have to work on that.
You ready, Kelsey? Okay, we have senior wide receiver Brandon Swindle. Brandon's going to recap the New Mexico game and give us some thoughts on how he thought the offense played, and then we'll take some questions.
So I feel like the offense, we could have, of course, did better. We could have put up points. Scheme-wise, it was there. We just didn't execute how we wanted to, and that was the outcome that we got. So
They're always, this year, they've given the wide receivers a lot of praise for their blocking. Since the running game didn't work great, did the wide receivers not have a great game blocker, or what happened there? Was it the whole team or what?
My position, I feel like we did a pretty good job blocking. And when the ball was thrown our way, of course, we made a play. And from my group, I feel like, we did good. We did our job. But, of course, it's a team win, and we could have did more, obviously. So.
Because it's unexpected for their defense to do what they did for us on the ground and stuff like that. So that had to be kind of a tough day to take offensively when you kept not moving the ball.
Yeah, we had a couple of good drives where we moved the ball. Running a couple of screens, but we knew coming in that they was going heavy pressure team. Man covers on the back end, and we schemed for it all week, and just some plays didn't get called, and that's what happened.
Brandon, Air Force is pretty balanced defensively this year. They've been pretty solid both the pass and the run defense.
Mhm.
What's going to be the key to consistently moving the ball against them?
we watched a little of them, and they kind of bring the same defense as New Mexico, so the pressure. So I feel like we scheme good again against them, and our running backs get going, the offensive line do their job, and the wide receivers and quarterback do our job, and I feel like we can come out with a victory. I feel like we just gotta get the ball in the air more, honestly, and and that kind of open up the run game more also. So yeah, that's just my opinion.
The 2 years we played Air Force, and you were on the sidelines last year, but the year before, we threw the ball
Yeah.
really well against their defense. And I mean, I can't imagine that it's a big, huge defensive change unless they decide to go with more pressure or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, I watched a little bit of them. They are kind of similar to New Mexico. So now I feel like if we pick up their blitz as well, get the ball in the air some and open up the run game, we come out with a victory.
Yeah, they have, Air Force has 27 sacks on the season. They haven't allowed any. They've been able to get pressure on the quarterback. So, I mean, how big is protecting Kent? How paramount is that this week?
It's gonna be huge. It's just the number you brought up is it's huge on their part. But I feel like we got the offensive line to do it. I trust them guys, and our running back pick up pretty good in protection also. So I mean, we have the players to get the job done. We just have to go out and execute.
I just asked LT about just the extremes of, the San Diego State game, you got beaten pretty good.
Mhm.
And this game, really hard to take. How do you guys as players rebound from 1 week to the next after one performance? How do you throw it away? I mean, we tend to cling on to it forever, but it seems like guys can let it go and move on. How do you do that, and how frustrating was it on Saturday?
Well, in this game, you have to let it go. You can't just sit on it. 'Cause if you sit on it, it mess up the rest of your season. So, for us, we just gotta let it go, move on, and prepare for the next week. That's kind of how we looking at it. But going into the game, we was in the driver's seat in the Mountain West Conference, so it was pretty heartbreaking to lose that game. But for us, like I said, in this game of football, I mean, you have to let it go. There's no way you can hold on to it.
Was that sort of the coach's theme when you met, yesterday or whenever you met after?
Oh yeah. Of course, he mentioned that to us and harped on it a lot. So of course, we had to let it go. But we all knew it because, I mean, it's no way you can continue to play, at a successful rate if you're still holding on to a loss. So going into this week, we're done with New Mexico now. Now we're looking forward to Air Force.
Did you play much in the Air Force game over there the last time we played?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about that game in 2013?
I mean, it wasn't really no difference. Like you said, we threw the ball a lot that game, and that opened up the run game. So I feel like we do that, and we come out with a victory.
It seemed like we came out through a big post early,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of got them with a lot
Yeah.
of pass plays.
Yeah, we kept moving the ball in the air, and I mean, like I said, and once we got in the red zone, we ran the ball down their throat. So I mean, I feel like that's a good scheme to go by. So we just see what the coaches come up with.
Anything else for Brandon? Okay.
Well, thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Okay, we've had Coach Matt Wells. We'll recap the New Mexico game, preview Air Force, and then we'll take some questions.
Okay. Well, it's still a bad feeling after that loss. Not making the plays that we needed to make and the calls that we needed to make to be able to go earn a victory. Congratulations to New Mexico. They found ways to win it. They found ways to make a few more plays than we did. In this league every week, and I think our guys know that, but we got to go show up every week, and you got to go earn a victory. Nobody's going to give it to you on the road. We didn't earn that as a team. We played well in certain areas, but not as a team. I thought our defense played excellent all night. Longest run was 16 yards. We had one assignment error and communication error all into one, which resulted in an 86-yard touchdown pass. But that was one of, 8 or 9 plays that I counted up that directly affected points that they made that we didn't make, and I could go into detail about every single one of them. Most of them on offense and a couple on teams, special teams. But we didn't make the plays, and it's disappointing to know that you dropped one in the race. And so, now you got to fight like crazy to win a game, to win the next one, and keep moving on, as far as we go throughout the rest of the season. So that's where we're at. And, I've got a lot of faith in these players, a lot of trust and a lot of love for them. The effort and the want to and the intangibles I believe and I know that are there. And as we finish this thing out this year in the next 3 weeks, and then who knows what can happen after that. But, as we get ready, you got to get back up off the mat this week, this morning, and this afternoon, and go right on to Air Force, because this is a really good Air Force team that's playing with a lot of confidence. They're undefeated at home. It's going to be senior day, I assume, last home game. A lot of seniors, a good senior class, and, I know what the academy will be like that day. A lot of families and parents back, and everything that they do within the Corps of Cadets and everything like that, they will be ready to play. And we need to and better as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions.
You used the phrase, "we got to fight like crazy," which we've seen this team do before.
Yeah. And my hope and want to is that will happen, Craig. It was a dose of reality, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. And bounce back and fight. That's what we do. And we'll see.
Why didn't the running game work better when you guys went back and looked at it?
You name it. I mean, we got to throw the ball more. Number one, we got outnumbered at times. We had communication errors up front at times. We didn't run it where we should have at times. Didn't read it right as times. All the way around. Not one area to put a finger on.
Because the track record of New Mexico was that they were great against the run.
I don't care what a track record is, Al. I absolutely don't. The track record of our defense the last 2 weeks that we didn't play very well to stop the run, and we played excellent. So,
Well,
that is what it is.
And a lot of, we've talked about it, is that David, it seems like when David Moala plays.
David Moala played very well.
And he played, you
Yeah.
could tell he was playing well.
Guys,
it makes a difference.
He played well. He takes up 2 O-linemen. He plays his gap. He's twitchy. He can beat one-on-one blocks. He's played excellent. I was very happy with him, and I know Coach Clune and Coach Malloy were, and it makes a big difference. He's a very, very good football player, and he's played well. He's played very well.
Does it seems to mean something to the guys on the field with him. When he's doing that and he's back, maybe lifting the defense a little.
Well, I think, yeah, and I think sometimes individual efforts like that do. I don't. I would assume, his level of play raises all of us. Yes, absolutely. But I don't think we don't play good when he's not in there, by any means, because he goes out. He doesn't play every rep, But shoot, when you got a guy playing at a high level like 51 is, we all have to. I think they all do respond to that because he's making plays. He's getting TFLs. He's playing in the backfield, and David played really well. I'm happy with David.
I talked about a lot of plays, but the one I was going to ask you was the one you had a discussion with the officials about, so you might know what they were thinking. The fumble recovery on the kickoff, first referee in signal your ball.
Yeah.
With them.
Yeah.
What did that tell you? What did they tell you when you asked them about it?
Not much. Yeah, it was an emphatic our ball, and so they made the call, went to replay, and it stood. So that's about all I can comment on that.
Can you see anything? It's hard to see those kind of things in film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Read
Yeah.
what happens on the field.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna leave that one be.
You played 3 quarterbacks. What is your quarterback situation?
Same.
Going
Yeah, it's Kent. Yeah, and what I had said to you guys and TV guys or any of the the media last week was absolutely the case. I thought if Kent got hurt long term or potentially long term, we were going to go with Chucky. Damien's got his package, but at the time when Kent came out, our doctors and our trainers and our medical staff were still examining him, obviously for the shot, above the shoulder. And so I had no idea where he was, and that's why you saw Chucky play the rest of that series.
Coach, I know you've kind of talked about Aaron Dalton's improvement the last
Yeah, he really was.
I mean, especially at the end of the game, a 63-yard punt. How much of a chance did he give you to win that game?
Well, I thought we did an excellent job in field position in terms of those conditions. I mean, guys, it was, I don't know the miles per hour on the wind, but it was, high teens, 20s, whatever it was, and it was consistent throughout warm-ups. And the whole game, it never changed and kind of swirled at times. But I thought Aaron Dalton was very, very good. I thought he was very consistent. Our punt team, their coverage, protection, their coverage, his individual effort, I thought was excellent. I think we had 4 pins inside the 20. His average, our net average, I thought he gave us a chance. I thought he did a nice job. He really did. Which in turn helped the offensive starting field position because our defense was able to get, 3 and outs. I think we had 7. Almost half the series were 3 and outs for our defense, which is really, really good. And then, in turn made them punt either against the wind, short or backed up punt or whatever you have it. And we just couldn't sustain anything on offense, guys. Field position was excellent all night. It really was. I mean, we averaged a 42-yard line in the first half and came out with 3 points. We averaged 36-yard line in the second half and came away with 10 points. So, red zone, horrible, and turnovers. It's 2-1. They won, and there was take out the fumbled punt return. There was 4 times the ball was on the ground. They got all 4 of them. Every one of those balls were competitive fumbles or fumble recoveries. We didn't get any of them. And every one of them was down in the north end zone, roughly 25, 28-yard line in. You get any of those, and it's, you got field goal opportunities right there in a tight-knit ball game, any of those. We didn't make it. New Mexico made those plays, and to win a game, you got to make some of those plays.
How's you been playing in with another option-type team, especially one that's as known for it as Air Force? It suffices to say your defense usually were on point last week. They have to be on point again.
Absolutely. We're about to face Steve, the number 2 rushing offense in America. We have to be on point on defense. I thought LT as well as Nick, they were on point. I thought the D-line was on point. We fit better on the second level with safeties, corners. Corners are part of that too, and our backers. But LT, Nick, I thought they played excellent. Thought they tackled well, got off blocks, ran the ball well. I thought those 2 guys' level of play was at a very, very high level Saturday.
Is there a lot of advantage to playing New Mexico and then playing Air Force? With
Sure,
the style?
sure. There's some, but this offense that we're going to see this week is vastly different. Almost, one of our coaches said drastically different. Coach Clune corrected him, but it's a lot different. It's a lot different, and they're more they're broader based in the types of options that they run, as well as the auxiliary runs that they have off of it, how they're blocking, read 1, block 2, pitch off 3, in the number count system, they're blocking 1, pitching off 2, blocking 3, et cetera, et cetera. I go on and on, lead option, G option, triple, midline, counter option. I hadn't even talked about, speed option. It's just wider array, more of it. Underneath, traditional, more, double wing or spread or whatever you want to call it. You got tight formations. You got gun, 2 back, similar to New Mexico. So, man, you see a lot of stuff.
And last year, you liked Pearson as a player. What kind of guy is Roberts now running their system comparatively to him?
Hard comparison, a little bit. I think their offense goes through Owens. That guy's played very, very well this year for them. They've got some slots and receivers that are slots and guys like that they're going to throw it to and try to get in one-on-one matchups. And they're going to try to always steal your eye discipline in the back end. Their DBs are going to test your discipline, how you're fitting things off the cracks, off the stalks, and all that kind of stuff. So we have to be very, very disciplined in the back end. Guys got to understand their responsibilities and assignments, and we'll have to be on point on defense.
But Roberts, I think, is our second leading rusher, I think, from Tell ones
Mhm.
and stuff. He's obviously still running things pretty well for him, and it's been passing better and better every
Yeah.
year, at least percentage-wise.
Yeah, he has. Percentage is good. And I think they've, coach has done a good job of coaching him up. You can tell. I think he manages the thing really well. He's a leader. He's a tough kid. I've seen him bounce off the ground when you think, oh man, he's staying down on that hit. Tough, a lot of those guys in the past. But he is, true spirit and true leader of that offense. And I think he does a really good job of. They, like I said, they go back and forth between gun and under and all that stuff. So it's been accurate with the ball.
Their running attack gets a lot of pub, and rightfully so, but they have an elite receiver. Garrett Brown has caught a pass in 27 straight games.
Yeah.
I'd say he's 6th or 7th in the league in receiving yards a game. And how much better of a team does he make them?
I think he makes them a potent team when you have an ability to stretch the field vertical. When you do that, and whether you're getting it off a drop back, but play action game, and again testing your mental discipline and your eye discipline in the back end from your safeties and your corners, and he has the speed to make you pay, and I think he runs a good route runner, hands. The kid's a good player. He's a really good player. I mean, you named all his stats, and you see it on tape.
One of the Robinette guys, the guy, though, who's really hurt us more the last 2 years, the
Yeah.
other receiver. I mean, he had over 100
Yeah.
yards against us last year, and
Yep.
he caught his first pass as a player over there and made a couple plays today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
They're both good players. So
Yep, absolutely.
So from your description, it sounds like their offense is more complex than Mexico's.
It's a lot more diverse. You got to cover a wider array of options and subtle things off of each. A blocking scheme out on the perimeter. They change who they're pitching off of. They change who they're reading, more of that stuff. And then you got your traditional option stuff with the fullback and all that stuff, which, you got to stop the fullback when you get underneath center and you're getting into the option stuff, which is a little bit more traditional. You better stop Owens first and foremost, or it'll be a long day if you don't stop the fullback.
A little off the wall, but does the new kickoff
Go ahead.
change your travel plans? My understanding has been you left pretty late the day before games, and with a noon kickoff, I'm wondering if there's a change.
No. I just want to take off on time and do what we're supposed to, but it is what it is, and with that, we're not going to make any excuses for travel or early kickoff, late kickoff, and that's not something that we'll ever. No, there won't be an excuse. I'd like to leave a little earlier, but we won't. So.
Coach Wells there, I mean,
Yeah.
their defensive stats are impressive. They're 27-0 on sack advantage, their tackle for loss advantage. They have 9 interceptions. I mean, how impressive has their defense been this season?
Really good. Pressuring, zone.
Even more pressure than what
Zone.
they've done the last couple years?
I don't know about a percentage, but you see it a lot. Zone pressure, zero pressure. They're going to add guys to the box and try to outnumber you formationally in the run game. Steelhammer's the guy back there. I think he's a tremendous player. He's got length, tackles very, very well, range, and he's the guy back there that gets them all lined up.
You said a lot contributed to the struggles on offense. How did the offensive line play as a group?
Well, we talked about it. We struggled at times, and whether it was physically or communicationally, if that's a word. Is that a word, Wade?
I'll look it up.
By communication. Yeah. But, guys, When you don't play well on offense, it's hard to point at one group. I'm not going to do that. We got to call a better game on offense. We got to put our guys in better position on offense. We got to communicate better. We got to execute better at QB all the way down to the O-line. So.
Can you describe your relationship with Chucky over the years and what he's exactly meant to this program?
Yeah, Chucky Keaton. Obviously a really good relationship from having a hand. Coach Bonite was the lead recruiter with him, having a hand in recruiting him, and obviously, early on as a young quarterback throughout the program, but tremendous amount of respect for that young man. For first of all, the type of person that he is, academically, socially, what he means to this program, but on a bigger scale, what he means to this school, the kind of representative that kid is, whether he is lighting it on fire as a sophomore, through the first 6 or 7 games of his junior year as we entered the Mountain West for the first time. On fire, as hot as any quarterback in the country, to, being saddled with all these injuries since then, since that BYU game of his junior year. The kid hasn't changed off the field. The kid hasn't changed academically, and the kid hasn't changed from a leadership. I have a tremendous amount of respect and always will for Chucky Keaton. He is he's, I don't know what else I can say about that young man and what he's meant to me, what he's meant to this program, and kind of teammate he is, and kind of person he is. That kid will go a long ways in life. He'll be very successful whatever field he chooses.
Coach Heupel said might be the most unselfish player he's ever been around, which is saying a lot. Do you see that same?
Yeah, I do, because he gives. He doesn't ask for anything in return. He's a very selfless young man that gives to the community. He gives to his teammates. He gives to others in need. He's just got a great deal of humility about him, and it's refreshing. I have a lot of respect for him. He was raised the right way, 2 great parents. It's been nothing but a big-time success at Utah State in every area.
Anything else for Coach Wells?
Good? All right, guys. No problem.